Yeah, it's like my favorite smoothie.
Oh my goodness. Yo, what in the...
I told you, like, I practiced these recipes to make sure I wasn't like just bringing trash. Welcome to our inaugural series, R2P Blends, where we're gonna be whipping up some delicious smoothies to help you guys add some variety and spice to your normal smoothie routine. R2P PBJ, because this smoothie, it tastes just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but we're actually gonna do it to hit your calorie and protein needs. So the first one I'm actually gonna make is more appropriate for someone trying to lose weight. We're gonna be going around 375 calories, but we're gonna make sure that every smoothie is in excess of 30 grams of protein. We're gonna start with my favorite ingredient. These are frozen dark sweet cherries. You can find them at any local grocery store. They are packed with nutrition. Super delicious, and actually one of my favorite ways to eat cherries. All right, so you're gonna do about a cup of these, which is about 140 grams. And then we're also gonna spice up the nutrient content with some frozen wild blueberries. So I'm gonna use about 1/3 of a cup. Again, you can always measure with your heart, especially if you're not too concerned about calories, and you're never gonna go wrong with some frozen blueberries. When I'm making smoothies, I always wanna add just a little bit of healthy fat to them. And so when you're adding fat, fat increases satiety, so it's super important. And again, even if you're trying to keep calories low, we can still get a little bit in there. Weight loss, we gotta be a little bit more accurate with calorie control, but if not, you can always just measure with your heart. And of course, peanut butter's always enjoyable to try and get completely off the 1/2 tablespoon. And let me tell you, the first time I actually measured what a 1/2 tablespoon of peanut butter looks like, kind of hurts your heart a little bit. But because we're not using a ton with the actual peanut butter, we're gonna give this PB&J smoothie a lot of peanut butter flavor with PB2. Now, this stuff, I don't like actually reconstituting it into peanut butter. However, it's a perfect addition for smoothies when you're trying to amp up that peanut butter flavor. 2 tablespoons of this is only 60 calories. So you get a lot of that peanut butter flavor with probably 70% less calories. It's not really a protein smoothie if you don't add a source of protein. So today we're using vanilla whey protein powder. This is just equivalent of 1 scoop. Whey protein is probably one of the most controversial things out there for some reason, but there's tons of research on this, and it's wonderful for weight loss because we want to preserve muscle mass while we're dropping body fat. So you need to be aiming for about 30 grams of protein or more at every single meal. So if this is gonna be a meal replacement smoothie for you, we definitely wanna make sure that protein content is high. So that's our last ingredient other than our almond milk. This is Calafia Farms Vanilla Unsweetened Almond Milk. It's about 40 calories in a cup. Now, another place that you can increase the calories in this if you're trying to make this a weight gain smoothie is to use 1%, 2% regular milk. The final place that you can increase it for a weight gain smoothie is to double up on the protein. You can do a scoop of whey protein and a scoop of collagen protein, or you can just do 2 scoops of whey. You can also add in extra full fat Greek yogurt. Again, not adding a ton of volume, but even more healthy fat and protein. So this is the easy part. You turn it on, and actually this even has a smoothie button, so we're gonna press away. That is absolutely plenty. But for today, I wanna make sure it actually tastes as good. So I'm going to pour a few glasses so we can pass it around the room and make sure it actually tastes good. I'm gonna have my esteemed guest, Mr. Josh Funk, the CEO of Rehab to Perform, come up and be my taste tester today. All right, let's see what you think. This is your R2P PBJ Smoothie. Honest truth time.
That is all that needs to be said.
Fantastic. Guys, this seriously is my favorite. I think I drink it almost every single morning. So I hope you love it too. And join us next time for R2P Blends. Yeah, thanks Josh. That was awesome. Did it actually taste good though? It's actually really good.
Yo.
I told you, like, I practiced these recipes to make sure I wasn't like just bringing trash.
I have these recipes.
I sent him all the recipes with all the macros so you guys could do like some editing on them. In the love sack? No, I'm just kidding. No, no. That thing is awesome, but no. I don't think I would get out of that thing. Sunlight. The warmth, the yellow, it's the best.
Yo, keep it up.
Oh my God. Are you saying I can be a George? Geronimo! Well, we gotta have someone taste test it. You can't just take my word for it. That was perfect. All right, so this recipe, I actually designed it to be one serving because again, for me, if you're going to feed me something for weight loss, it needs to have a decent amount of volume to it. So this is one serving. It's about 370 calories, give or take, we adjust portions. And then, like I said, about 34 grams of protein. Now, if you wanna add some extra fiber and even more volume, you can actually add frozen riced cauliflower to the recipe. I've done that before. You will not taste it at all, but it's gonna give you even more volume and even more fiber, and it will only add about 20 calories to the total amount. The reason I like smoothies, specifically either in the morning or at night, is they're really easy on your gut. So sometimes people wake up and like, well, Jessica, I'm just not that hungry. Well, smoothies are a fantastic way to get all the nutrition you need within like a very light package. So it's not gonna sit heavy, it doesn't take much time, so really low barrier to entry. The only time I'd use it at night is some of my clients have to work out at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And so I have them eat dinner beforehand, just a lighter dinner, then they go to the gym and they come home. You're not gonna put something heavy on your stomach, but you're still gonna need that protein to make sure you're recovering from your exercise. So in that case, that's another place that smoothies fit perfectly for this. It all depends on what you put in it, but I will say in this smoothie specifically, I designed it to have a really high antioxidant content. So everybody knows that tart cherries are really great for anti-inflammation, but cherry season isn't really that long. So this is a way that you can get in the benefits of cherries, the anti-inflammatory properties, for an extended period of time. And then, like I said, the wild blueberries are one of the best foods on the planet. They have this thing in them called an anthocyanin, which is fantastic for vascular health. One of my college professors actually studied that. So shout out to Dr. Archmondi. So because of him, I have always had something with that blue or purple pigment almost every day. And wild blueberries are just delicious. So that's the best way to get it. In many ways, they're right. You go to some of the big retailers that promote smoothies. Unfortunately, instead of using the actual fruit, sometimes they use the fruit juice. And sometimes the fruits that they use are kind of overly processed. And let's be honest, if food doesn't taste good, no one's gonna buy it. So the best part about smoothies is when they are made at home. Just like most things, you can control quantity, you control content, and you can really pick, higher nutrient value fruits and vegetables and things like nuts and seeds and nut butters. And then again, from the protein content, having your ability to control what type of protein you use, who your manufacturer is. One of the proteins that I love is Thorne. They make a really clean vanilla whey protein. It blends with everything. So I think when you go outside of the home, smoothies can be questionable. But when you make it in the house, it can actually be a wonderful meal substitute. If I had 3 main rules to think about when you're making smoothies, number 1, there has to be protein. There just has to be. If not, you're just drinking juice. And that's where it can start affecting blood sugar levels, especially if you're diabetic or you're worried about diabetes in the future. So there needs to be a significant amount of protein in there. Like I said, my rule is for a meal replacement, it needs to be at least 30 grams. If you're using smoothies post-workout, it needs to be at least 30 grams so you can get in enough protein to actually truly recover from your workout or meet your needs of a meal. So that's rule number 1, has to have protein. Rule number 2, if you can slide a vegetable in there, it's always gonna benefit you. Like I said, for this recipe, the best pair would be frozen riced cauliflower. Complete honesty, my grocery store was out, so I couldn't add it in the recipe today. But you really need that fiber. Again, when you're buying smoothies out, you tend to not see that fiber unless they're putting in the whole fruit and the whole vegetable. So when you're making it at home, you can make sure that happens. So rule number 1, adequate protein. Rule number 2, definitely a whole vegetable and whole fruits if you can to bump up that fiber. And rule number 3, you have to like it. It needs to taste good. I don't care who says what, you have to like what you're eating. If you don't like what you're eating, you're never gonna stay with it. So keep tweaking recipes or come back to this series to find good combinations to keep you engaged with smoothies.